First at 4, the Chatham County Police Department is giving the public a closer look at how it uses Flock's safety cameras. The department is the first in the county to launch Flock's Transparency Portal, an online dashboard showing how often the cameras are used, department policies, and recent search activity without revealing individual license plate information. Police say the cameras have helped solve violent crimes and find stolen vehicles. Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley says the cameras are a valuable tool. In a press release, Chief Hadley said Flock has proven its value to us repeatedly, and we want everyone to feel confident in how this technology is being used by our department. However, critics argue widespread Flock cameras and license plate readers raise too many privacy violations. They cite concerns over data sharing and selling, as well as mass government surveillance. CCPD's data on the Flock Transparency Portal can be accessed by visiting our website, that's WSAV.com. There you can also find more information on the portal. To a developing story now, a wanted man accused of kidnapping has been shot in Appling County after a pursuit with police. A GSP trooper was assisting the Jeff Davis County Sheriff's Office in the pursuit, which led police into Appling County. After pulling the vehicle over, the driver fled on foot and reportedly fell to the ground. The suspect allegedly refused to obey orders given by the trooper and reached into his waistband. The trooper then reportedly drew his weapon and fired at the suspect, hitting him multiple times. The man was airlifted to the hospital for treatment. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is investigating the shooting. We will continue to update you as we learn more. Savannah police are investigating 3 separate break-ins at businesses in the city's Starland District. WSAV's Isley Herschel spoke with the neighbors about the recent spike in crime.
New surveillance video shows an alleged suspect during Sunday night's break-in at Starlandia.
Not surprised.
Some Savannah residents tell WSAV they believe the recent break-ins could be connected to people experiencing homelessness in the area, though police have not said who may be responsible.
I thought it was just probably like homeless people breaking in, trying to look for some water, food, shelter for the night, you know.
The old Savannah City Mission is just a block from Starlandia and around the corner from Starland Strange and Bizarre.
But I can say, speaking up for the friends and neighbors that we do that frequent this area all the time, we've never had a problem with any of them breaking into any business or doing any kind of harm to anybody in the area.
Jermaine Ray with the old Savannah City Mission says people should not jump to conclusions about who may be responsible before the investigation is complete.
We do have a lot of new people in town. Like I was saying, a lot of people that came migrated here from up north during the cold season. A lot of them stayed in Savannah, so we really don't know their background or anything about them. We can't just initially start saying that it's our friends and neighbors around the community. We got to start looking at other options besides just blaming them for it.
People we spoke with say they hope the recent break-ins don't keep customers away from the Starland District's small businesses.
It is a beautiful area, and the spots here, they're honestly really good hidden gems.
That was WSAV's Isley Herschel reporting. Police say they have not identified suspects in any of the recent break-ins and have not said whether the cases are connected. We'll continue following the story and provide any updates as we get them both on air and online. The Chatham County Police Department is sounding the alarm about children riding electric bikes, or so-called e-bikes. These are bicycles equipped with an electric motor that assists the rider, making pedaling easier and enabling longer, faster, or less easier rides. CCPD says it receives multiple complaints each week from motorists and pedestrians about young riders who aren't following the rules of the road. The department says some children have been seen riding on 4-lane roads, with some appearing to be as young as 10 years old. They tell us officers are making an extra effort to stop young riders and educate them about traffic laws and safe e-bike riding practices. Chief Jeff Hadley says the conversation is also about making sure families understand what type of vehicle they are buying.
Please understand what you're purchasing for your child. Is it legal? Do they have the proper training? And do they have the proper safety gear to be out there? I'm sure they think it's a great Christmas idea or birthday idea, and they give it to a young child, but they're out there running the neighborhoods, running through stop signs.
In addition to e-bikes, police say they're also seeing minors riding dirt bikes. Under Georgia law, dirt bikes can only be ridden off-road. The department is urging families to understand the difference before making a purchase. As schools begin to ramp up for another year of classes, AAA, along with the Georgia Governor's Office of Highway Safety, is providing some helpful information to make sure drivers stay alert and exercise extra caution out on the roads. The organizations have teamed up for the Schools Open Drive Carefully campaign. They have released a guide that includes safety information for traffic, bus stops, e-bikes, and more. You can find the full list of tips on our website, wsav.com. Bryan County schools are joining a growing number of districts across Georgia, cracking down on student cell phone use in the classroom. Starting this coming school year, students who bring personal electronic devices to school will have to keep them powered off and stored away from the start of the school day until dismissal. The district says the change comes as part of Georgia's Distraction-Free Education Act. Bryan County Schools says violations will be handled through progressive discipline to help enforce the new rules. Repair crews began work to be rowed earlier today at the site of a water main break that happened this past weekend. Crews are repairing the water main, and once the work is complete, will flush the system in the affected area and will collect water samples to be tested. The city of Savannah says a 6-inch water main is believed to have sprung a leak around 5 a.m. on Saturday. About an hour later, a second larger water main was damaged when someone drove through the affected area. The city issued a boil water advisory as a result, but it was lifted Sunday. B Road will remain closed between 50th and 52nd Streets through the weekend while crews complete repairs. Drivers are advised to avoid the area and use alternative routes. Meanwhile, the Savannah Fire Department is working to fix a gas leak at Bernard and West Gaston Streets in Savannah's downtown. The department says they are repairing a 2-inch gas line and advise avoiding the area until the repairs are complete. Senator Darlene Graham has announced funeral details for the late Senator Lindsey Graham. The services will take place next week in Washington, D.C. and in South Carolina. The Washington service will be held July 28th with an arrival ceremony at the U.S. Capitol. Graham's remains will be carried into the Capitol by an armed forces body barrier team in recognition of his Air Force service. A ceremony will then take place in the Capitol Rotunda. It will not be open to the public, however, it will be live streamed. Graham's remains will then be taken to Washington National Cathedral for a funeral service where President Trump is expected to deliver a tribute. Funeral services in South Carolina will take place July 29th. They will begin with a final visit to the State House around 10:45 in the morning. The Graham family invites the public to come and pay their respects along the procession route. A private family burial will take place later that day in Pickens County. WSAV is your local election headquarters. The race to replace late U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham officially moved into its next phase today. It's the first day Republican candidates can file to appear on the ballot for South Carolina's special U.S. Senate primary. So far, Congressman Russell Fry, Congressman Ralph Norman, businessman Mark Lynch, Duke Buckner, and appointed Senator Darlene Graham have all announced plans to seek the seat. Graham, who was appointed after her brother's death earlier this month, confirmed Monday she will run for a full term. The Republican nominee will face Democrat Dr. Annie Andrews in November. With the filing window now open, the list of candidates could still change over the next week as more Republicans decide whether to enter the race. Candidates have until July 28th to officially file for the Republican nomination, with the special primary set for August 11th. You can stay up to date on the upcoming elections in both South Carolina and Georgia anytime on our website. Just visit wsav.com/electionhq. President Donald Trump is returning to Georgia this week. The White House said he will be making a stop in Metro Atlanta on Wednesday. The president will visit Wheeler High School in Marietta, where he's expected to highlight his new Trump Accounts program. The White House says the visit will focus on lowering costs for families and its economic agenda, while Cobb County school leaders say they're looking forward to showcasing student achievement. The president could also use the visit to weigh in on Georgia's high-stakes midterm races, including possible endorsements of Republican gubernatorial candidate Rick Jackson and U.S. Senate candidate Mike Collins.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic. The accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Well, this Tuesday afternoon, we are checking out traffic along I-16 at Gwinnett Street, heading toward Savannah. Things are pretty smooth. Heading out of the city, looking okay at the moment as well. And that's the case as you head further to the west, more toward I-95. Speeds are pretty close to normal for this time of the day. In the low country, we're looking at a pretty smooth drive on the major arteries with speeds pretty close to normal. And those actual drive times are about where they should be for this time of the day, taking 25 minutes from downtown Savannah to Richmond Hill, getting to Pooler taking just about 10 minutes at the moment.